very exciting video today. This is the first look that I am taking at any new 2023 Tomicas, and these ones are from Diecast Car Guru. These are the January releases, and I've been so excited about the Stepwgn. Then we have the Suzuki Wagon Smile, and yeah, so we have other Stepwagons here. We will compare them in a moment. And yeah, I've just been on a Stepwgn hype ever since I saw one in person over the summer. I've been all over them. They're just so cool, especially the first gen. Gotta be my favorite. But I really like how much the new one here looks like the first gen. They really went back to that same design style, and we'll take a look at that in a second. But I still wish, you know, I think Tomica has done every generation of the Stepwgn except for the second generation for some reason. Don't know why they left that one out, but there is a brand that did it, but I have no idea what brand it is. It was like plastic, like these Ashoma chimneys. I definitely don't think it was Ashoma. So I don't know where it came from. I saw it in an Instagram post, but it wasn't told what it was. So let's start with the Smile, and then we'll get to the Stepwgn and the first color. It's the Suzuki Wagon Smile, and I think this might be like a different trim level of the Wagon because it does not look like a typical Wagon because they're pretty aggressive looking, and this is not really aggressive looking. This looks like the Hutler with the round headlights. So we'll take a look. I heard this one's got a nice color, and a lot of people have been doing some fun customs with it. Someone did a pink one, and it was pristine. That was a really good custom. Okay. And then, of course, for February, the February ones just came out, so really, like, the only ones you can really get are the Stepwgn and the Wagon. These are the January releases. The February ones just came out, so you might be able to get them from some places. I know Diecast Car Guru pre-ordered his from HobbyLink Japan, and I'm sure they're still available. Not the first color of the Outlander, though. That one is definitely gone. And then soon, the March ones will be out. There's that. We will take a look. So this will be a nice little companion for the Daihatsu Taft from 2020, or 2021, because the colors are kind of similar, and they're both K vehicles. I do like the lens strip in the front here. But of course they did paint the grille so it didn't look lensed. Suzuki badge, so that way only the headlights show at their lens. I like the trim around the headlights though. Glad they did that. Flat black trim in the grills looks really good. And this like division in the grill here too, it reminds me of the Hutler. Maybe the Hutler's discontinued and this is like the replacement for it. You get all the window pillars are painted, but no trim, which is interesting. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It looks like they did the trim at the top, they didn't do it at the bottom. Your tail lights. Smile on the badge. So yeah, I figured it is a trim level. Suzuki. You got sensors for I assume parking and all that. You get like caravan doors on this one, and they must go all the way out past the trunk. Really interesting color. I like it. It's like a gray blue, but it's really soft. Ooh, good suspension on this one too. Seems like they try to give us one K-van a year. I guess you could call it a van. The K-van a year, because last year they did the Suzuki Solio, and then in 2021 they did the Taft. Which actually, let me just get the Taft. I want to compare the color. and the Solio really quickly. Okay, so the tap is actually a little darker. A little darker of a color. But they're similar colors. Like a grayish blue, a light blue. The tap is very small though. Oh, it didn't get lens headlights either. That's interesting. It's very small. These two, let's see, what are the scales? 60, 57, oh god. What's this one? 58. Okay, so these ones are similar in scale. So maybe they would be the same size because this one is smaller compared to the scale. This one's 58. This one's 57. So if it was just a little bigger, I'm sure if they up the scale, it would be just as tall because you can see they're not quite the same height. This one, however, is, wait a minute, do I have that backwards? Because this one is 60. This one's close to the 1/64 scale. So that means this one is smaller. This one's the largest. But they're the same size. So the Smile must be smaller than the Solio in real life. I don't know, this scale thing confuses me, but. So we got what, the 2021 K car, 2022, 2023. I hope to see more. I mean, I don't know why they limiting it to one a year, because there are some nice ones out there that I'd like to see, like the Nissan Sakura is pretty cool. Oh, I don't know why I took away this one. All right, Honda Stepwgn. So Tomica has really gone back to their roots this year, what I've noticed, because they used to do so many minivans back in the late 2000s, early 2010s. They did so many minivans, and even back in the 90s. I shouldn't say back to their roots, but back to how it used to be. And even in the 90s, they did a lot. I mean, this one's from the 90s, right? Yeah, 97. And well, the Delica is like a 2010, actually. Yeah. So, I mean, I like the incorporation of more MPVs because that is a characteristic of Japanese vehicles that we do not get. We don't get MPVs in America. And, you know, they're like a little different than minivans. I mean, they still have the sliding door, but they're just taller and they have like a stumpy front end. I mean, I think that's what defines an MPV from a minivan, but some of the minivans here have stumpy front ends, like the new Odyssey is kind of stumpy for what it is. The Sienna's kind of big though. But I think MPVs are actually smaller than minivans. They're like shorter but taller. I don't know. There is a difference. I'm definitely not giving a professional difference, but just based on observation. And I'm sure there's a difference in like amenities and features and all that, but I guess it depends on the brands too. Okay, this chair is like annoying. So this is, oh yeah, because it's hard to tell with the packaging until you look at the words. This is the normal version. This is the first color. Yeah, the packaging does look the same, but that one is gray. This one's black. Oh. Sorry, the camera. Ooh. Look how slick that looks. That looks really good. And it's kind of, I don't really know if it's black. It looks like a really deep blue. On camera it looks black, but in person, maybe because I have the light on it and the metal flakes kind of reacting, but it looks like a deep blue. No, it's black. It's black. Now that I pick it up, it's black. You can definitely see where the blue comes from, but it's black. Now it looks lighter on camera, but no, it's black. If there wasn't a gray one, I would just say this one was like a really deep gunmetal gray. Oh, this is awesome. And there's also 2 different castings of this one, which is interesting because these 2 are the same casting. Then they made a promotional one, I think it's for Honda dealerships in Japan, that is a completely different casting. And you can tell because this bottom grille isn't even there. It's a different trim level, or this grille doesn't exist. And it doesn't have a wing. I really want that version because it looks so good in white. But I'm curious to why they changed the casting or why they made a different casting, because that one's the Stepwgn Air. This one is the Spada. So maybe the first color was supposed to be a different casting, because they do that sometimes, just not this time. So maybe it was supposed to be a different casting, but it got delayed. So they're just like, oh, let's just recolor it, and then we'll do a special one for the Honda dealership. You know, that seems like a quick fix around it. Let's look at it. So I've been having trouble deciphering what is a plastic insert on this model. And I think the bottom grille is part of the plastic insert. So that means they tooled 2 different front ends for it. Because, like I said, on the Tomica Air, it's only the lights and this top grille in the Honda badge. The bottom grille doesn't exist. And it looks really slick like that. But I just thought that this one would be built the same way, where it's just this top part and then this bottom part would be part of the metal body. But no, that's actually part of the plastic insert. So they're both different. They even when they could have used the same plastic piece on both vehicles, they didn't. That's what I'm trying to say. Well done, Tomica. You got, I think that's silver trim. That's not part of the headlight. Yeah, they didn't detail the headlight. They just did the trim on it, like this one. Honda badge looks good. This grille, oh, that is painted flat black. I like that. Standard button wheels on both of them. Flat black trim on the windows here looks really good. And it does really stand out against the metal flake too. I like that. The one problem I have, why did they paint the taillights black? And I know that's how the real one is, but they are mostly black. But there is a red LED strip that goes down them. Why couldn't they paint that strip in? Why? They did it on the Aqua. Actually, they did more than that on the Aqua. So why not just, it would be one red line. I don't know, maybe the Tampo like bled or something and it didn't look right. And they just had to get rid of it. Like the silver trim on the window there. Stepwgn, Spada, Honda badge. And yeah, and before people ask, it's spelled Stepwgn, but it's pronounced Stepwgn. That's always confused me. And I normally just spell it Stepwgn anyway. But why wouldn't they spell it Stepwgn? Why spell it and then say it a different way? I mean, well, you really can't say that. I don't know. That's weird. They just cut out 2 letters and like, oh. But as an aesthetic, like, it kind of looks good on the badge. Stepwgn, it kind of looks good. It kind of looks better than just writing out Stepwgn. Good suspension. Let's see, yeah, see, even on the older version, it looks like an upside down M, but and yeah, so this is what I want to show you, because previous versions of the Stepwgn had like smaller taillights, I guess I could say. You know, they're blobby, but they're not the up and down bar. But Honda seems like it reverted to the vertical taillight, because that's what the older one had. And actually, should probably show you on this version, because you cannot even see the decal. I'll show you on the other version, but yeah, they have the up and down taillights. The front end's similar too. The blocky headlights and the grille connecting both of them, which actually this one did have. But of course, I guess for safety reasons or out of convenience, they cannot make it 3 doors. See, because the original Stepwgn always never had a door on this side, only this side. And I can confirm that because I saw a real one, that's how it was. But of course now they have it on both sides, which I'm sure is out of safety for passengers or just convenience, so you don't have to walk around to the other side. All right, let's get the first color out. And like I said, the first color will be easier to compare the rear ends because you'll be able to see the taillights. They still didn't decal them, but detail them. They still just painted them black, but it'll just be easier to tell you where they are. Okay, so this is a gunmetal gray. This looks really good. I just love Japanese vans. And like industrial vans like the high ACS, but minivans too, and MPVs. And wagons, I guess, because they still call it a wagon, which definitely is not a wagon. It's a Stepwgn. Whatever that means. But yeah, and I'm so... I think Tomica is supposed to be doing the Toyota Voxy soon, or the Noah, whatever one. They're the same. There are differences between them. I just can't rattle it off the top of my head. But they're the same like body style. They just changed the front ends and rear ends on them. So we got the same details, and now you can actually see that they did paint the trim down here, and they also even painted into, look at that, actually, that, I'm zoomed in as far as possible. They even painted into that. The attention to detail. I'm sure they did it on this one too, but you can't even tell. Yeah, they did. And you wouldn't know to look for it either because it's so minute. But then when you see it on the gray one, you're like, oh, now I gotta check both of them. But it's not flat black. So I guess it's not here, but it feels like it. Yeah, and it looks like it too. That's definitely flat black, so they changed it up a little bit. Just a little bit. There's your headlights. Still the same silver trim. I mean, at least this one they can reuse the trim piece. They probably like decal them separately, and then they'll plug them in. But of course, this is the first color, so they don't make it anymore. Flat black trim on the windows. And this one we can easily see that they did not do the top or the bottom trim. It's so weird in their decisions. Okay, see, here's your tail light. This black blob. That's your tail light. Well, this black bar, I should say. It looks good on the silver one here because it looks like it was tinted black. And it's kind of like clean looking, but still wish the red bar was there. Stepwgn, Spada. Kind of reminds me of Ferrari Spada. Rear trim and Honda badge. And of course, oh, you can see similarities in the tail light. Yeah, like you can even see the body's like almost the same shape, how they both like curve up to the top here. It's like almost the same angle. They fit together like that. That's really cool. And I'm sure they're the same scale because that's a normal thing Tomica does. 164. Wow. 165. Dang it. This one's 164 though. This is true 164 scale. Wow. But this one's 165 apparently. What about the other ones? This is a 4th gen, by the way. 164. Really? Why couldn't they do this one 164? I'm sure they all were, except for this one. But you really can't tell. You can just say it's 164. They are literally the same size. Maybe that just means the actual one is just a little bigger than others. Suspension on them is really good. I like how low they sit too. It's so Japanese, really. So Japanese in style. Really love them. Really love them. This is a good way to start 2023 with Tomica. And for February, it's the Mitsubishi Outlander and a motorcycle, which the motorcycle isn't interesting, but the Outlander is, as I talked about in the Untouchable Tomica video, it's very notable to have another Mitsubishi since there isn't any in the line right now. Well, now there is with the Outlander. So, yeah, and I really like the new Outlanders too. They're different. A lot of people think they're ugly. I can see why because of the lights on the bumper, but it's a really interesting design, and I'll still always like the previous generation because I just liked how clean that one looks, but this one I like it for a different reason. And just because they tried something new, because Mitsubishi's kind of like going down the tubes right now. But anyway, that's a talk for another day. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think of these awesome models. Take care, everybody. Bye.